Alright. Holy heck. That big floof is so big. Well, hopefully it's not gonna be a obnoxious problem. But it big. Login Q24. Not bad. I feel like I need to move my avatar up a little. Let's see here. I am not allowed to move it. Oh, is it because, yes, this whole thing is locked? That'll be why. How best to do this? Maybe I'm just too big for that? Maybe I need to be smaller? I make myself smaller. That's better. So, I will have to teleport back to where I was, because I did, in between, come back to the Free Company house. Oops, I know I don't have anything to plant right now. Need to make sure to tend the gardens. I found out after the fact on my last stream that I had the option to actually possibly save VODs and have them published, but I did not have that turned on. So it's a shame, but I will not have a Twitch VOD recording of what went on last time. Previously, though, we did not get far. We managed to get to Charlian, got a little tour from Kryl and Graha, and we hit the books, and we are about to find out exactly if anyone found anything useful. That's what we're about to find out. So, I should fetch my chocobo. And yes, his name is Floof. Alright. We shall... Which one is the new teleport area? There are no aetherites on display. Wait, what is Charlie considered under? Is it over here? Aha! The Northern Empty. Let's go. Okay. So I am fairly certain we need to be down over there. The music here is very relaxing, almost. It sounds way more like I'm at like a beach hotel kind of place. Like it's supposed to be like a vacation spot to rest at, instead of a like not that it doesn't feel like also music you would hear at a place of learning. But I definitely feel like the music makes this place feels like a vacation spot instead of a place where I'm sure a lot of people have headaches in and spend their time pulling their hair out of their heads trying to find research or figure out the next new discovery. Because research students, like, that's the feel that the people here give me, but this background music is something else. Let's see what we have here. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events, if I can find anything to better inform the forum's baffling behavior. What else do I know of Corvus? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Gala first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets. Flying carpets. The linens are quite extraordinary. I see. Alright. We've returned with our selections, although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we'll be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. Well, I have a lot to say, I'm sure. My thanks. Now, where to begin? Ooh, do I actually get dialogue options here? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Complete destabilization of creation magics. Primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the aether. The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. Well, that last one certainly is not very helpful. The first one requires knowledge of what creation magics is, and I'm not sure if she knows that. I know that my dialogue choices don't matter, but they do matter to me. Primals of unimaginable power summoned from aether. Oh, was there supposed to be a correct answer there? I mean, yes, but honestly, see, from my opinion here, the things that were just being spawned, those nightmares and whatnot, which is like rampant from creation magic, are no different from primals, except that there is no structure to them. Like, they're all created from creation magics, are they not? Even primals? Just with extra rules to them? Well, I suppose my musing's not going to change what happens next, so... I believe Heidelin and Zodiark were summoned after the final days had arrived, quite deliberately, in fact. If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics run rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and despair manifest in terrible, tangible fashion, meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yshtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Scions. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Oh my goodness. None of these answers feel really satisfactory, even if there were a correct one. Well, we'll go with... The entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. Is that not much like a calamity? Oh, am I not allowed to have a correct answer? Is that the problem? I think you may be misremembering. As I recall, 'twas more of a gradual spread. The Amoratines spoke of a keening sound that rose from the land itself just before a region was visited by catastrophe. Okay, I guess I remember that, but man, when the game tries to make me recall information from like over a year and something ago because I haven't played in a long time. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered a harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and possibly quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Nomenon's mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiark. No more wrong answers on that one, please. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set all right. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Vana and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of the events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. I've seen what they're doing with the towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Ishtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Oh boy, reading. Wait at the designated location again. Oh, bother. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope, anyway. There she is. It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Orianjay learned of the source's reflections from the Garum oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed acrophia and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet, when you confronted Master Fortunal with the knowledge of the Telophoroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, those books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. You labor for what feels like an age as Ishtola's research assistant. Oh, well, come to think of it, how does she read? Are the pages infused with aether? She's blind in a sense. We don't know exactly. I suppose maybe that's why I was there? I was to read for her? Oh, well then. Oh yes, what does she have to say? Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. I suppose she can read. Actually, she wouldn't have made it this far without being able to read, so who knows exactly how she reads. I still don't understand exactly how her sight works, or I've probably forgotten. Oh dear, you do look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? In a manner of speaking. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Alright, we shall complete that. I know that opening this up is not going to do me any good. I could just open it up for a different class, but... Oh, that's right, I don't particularly mind. I'm probably just gonna open it and see if I like the way it looks, which, I mean, decent boots are always nice. How do you die? That's always a question. Maybe not terribly. May not need you, though. There are some parts of an outfit where you can just always replace with something else that'll look equally as good. I found naught of interest so far. I think Ishtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. Your efforts to gain Grahatia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. Alright, a seat at the last stand. Alize appears in desperate need of a study break. Ready for a tea break, Yurentai? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know, the last stand down to the You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. You drink coffee, Alize. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love coffee. Which, speaking of which, I do have some. Some, I say. Not a lot. Leftover coffee. And that was all. I don't often get to play this game with my headphones on, or more specifically with my sound going through my headphones, since I usually put it on my speakers because my headphones have to be reserved for other things like voice calls, and I have trouble getting the sound balance right when I use my headphones for all of my sound, and it drives me nuts. But it's nice sometimes to play a game with my headphones on, and the stereo sound and the detail sounds that I otherwise wouldn't be able to hear, like footsteps. Love that. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telepharoi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alize is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Okay, it's the usual. Alright. Let's start. It's this dude. This dude who doesn't want to talk to me in the first place. What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You must understand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telepharoi. These enemies of peace have promised to end all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I had heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. Well, thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Urantai. I kind of figured, Alize. I mean, I like your energy, but, you don't particularly have tact. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telepharoi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier! My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fauchenal that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Okay, who else am I meant to talk to? The barista? Wait, is that a gender term? You know, I'm not sure. I don't think it is. Alright, continuing then. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. It seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fauchenal may have been, news of your family's doing never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlene has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? Apocalypse? What am I saying? I can't read. What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak to me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlene, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server, with none the wiser. Oh my goodness, alright. Please tell me you're gonna give me a cafe uniform for that then. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Oh, I don't get a dialogue option to potentially be snarky about this? Okay, I mean, that's fine with me. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Okay. Let's see what we have here. I do not get a uniform. Unfortunate. I am definitely, absolutely not dressed as a server. Not worth changing gear just for that. Okay. Well, speaking to her told me exactly what she wanted, so... Tea set. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you! Oh, you don't get dialogue options for this? Okay. The Telepho who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to the current events. Now, if you want to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. No, I suppose it's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Gisla. Once the omelet. Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. What? The Telepharoi? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? I'm not sure if it's that simple, man. Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. This feels like a familiar situation of big shit is going on, but information is being watered down and not necessarily given. I can give urban banter with a smile. Urbane banter with a smile. I'm pretty sure lobster is what you wanted. At last the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. I mean, lobster, I suppose, in most places, I mean, in our reality, is most certainly somewhat expensive, but, do you... I mean, I suppose you can't find lobsters everywhere, even if you live by the waters. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it, although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. A what? You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the field, picking up every grain which was missed. By all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telepharoi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities would be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the dock all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Okay, now see, that's somewhat useful information. But, I mean, what did I expect? Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Okay. Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon has nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Oh, am I going to be given a food item that I'm going to forget to use? But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Is the menu something I can read? Nope, not readable. Not that I know how to read the Eorzean language, anyway. Wait, where is she? Okay, all the way over there. Okay, what do we have coming up? Those benches are lovely. They're simple, but whenever I see benches, I'm always like, benches are lovely. Alright. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Graham said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't get to choose what sacrifices are made in war is the problem.
Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family.
Oh dear. Some may call it charming, but sometimes it's also very troublesome.
If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
And what is Labyrinthos?
A vast complex beneath the island.
Sounds like a maze.
Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Yes, I felt like that should have been one of the first things that we would discuss, though you are allowed to have your emotional moment.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Hello, Floof. Doesn't seem like it. Yes, big Floof. Alright. A labyrinthine descent. I was excited to share your revelations. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Nomenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Ah, yes. Actual ceramic cups instead of disposable ones. Honestly, I do like that better. Though, at the same time, it means that usually you can't go far from the place that you ordered from. What is this supposed to give me a quest of some sort? Hunt for specimens. Or perhaps this is for gathering? No, wait, that would be in red right now. Oh well. Wait, I'm supposed to take plus quests though, eventually. Nope. Gonna worry about that later. I do have this habit of always pulling up my map. I suppose... Nope, gotta go up a little. I have a realization that perhaps if I'm gonna keep such a big avatar in my stream avatars, I may want to make some changes here to, yeah, to these. Let's move those in a little. Oop. Oh well. That's better. Alright. Is it still the same dialogue as before? Oh. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss the tea break? Well, in a manner of speaking, yes you did, Graha. Where is Alize? I thought she was with you. My loyal assistant returns. There is a lexicon on the first floor that I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Yes, I have. Welcome back, Yurentai. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Oh, is it snowing? It's snowing! Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with that Yurentai and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet, my father and his colleagues were not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetuated by the Telepharoi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Alright. She said head down the stairs, and what do? Jump off a little cliff. What would that be called? It's not necessarily a cliff. A drop? It's a drop. Ready? Labyrinthos is not far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alizé and try not to fall behind. What? Come on, what era of gaming are we in? You're gonna make me follow an NPC in a frickin' MMO. Is there any particular reason why you decided that I have to go at a walking pace, and I walk faster than you do? Hey, what is there that we've said about game design and following NPCs? I have an easier time walking alongside NPCs in Genshin Impact than I do in Final Fantasy XIV. Ugh. Now we run. Try to keep up. Okay! Keep to the path straight ahead, she says. Is there a particular reason why you couldn't just give me a quest marker? I mean, I guess I would enjoy the time spent with the NPCs, but sometimes I'd rather those be cutscenes. Up here? Okay. Oh, alright. The Rostra, not far for now. Not far now, okay. Here's a perfectly fine usable aetheryte shard that I could just teleport it to in order to get to this area. Hey, Stream Element Sleuth, are you okay? You look like you're stuck up there. Okay. Ooh, I missed that part. Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? I mean, yes, I've already attuned, but you say that to me now when earlier the entire gameplay was like, hey, don't fall behind, so I'm worried that if I stop anywhere, you would just go on without me. Oh my goodness. It would make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Yes, alright, let us keep moving. Do these doors actually open for me? Oh my goodness, they do. Interesting. I actually never bothered trying to go inside there. Holy heck. Well, would you look at that? I don't think I'm actually allowed in here. Alright, let's go. I see. Okay, so it takes me out of this map and into an overworld map. Cool. Lift operator, okay. But first we talk to the Chocobo Keep. They are still wearing these ridiculous masks. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? Ah, do not tell me this is your first visit to the shop. I shall update my register with your name so that you may access this location in the future. Yes, sure, thank you. That's all I needed. You didn't take a wrong turn into the roster there, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. Rude to put dialogue like that in there. I mean, I get it. I have to be able to access that maybe for the future area, and you wouldn't restrict my access there for, like, whatever logistics reason, but still! You would say that to me when you give me free reign of that area from gameplay perspective. How do the forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. I've not been to the Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permissions for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. It's raining.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
Oh.
In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Oh, well, you do make that sound kind of ominous. Hi, Cosmic! And hello, Lurk Floof. That artificial sun does not look very warm, and I don't know if the rain that's happening right now is like weather pattern or if it's event weather.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
A terrarium.
The island is volcanic, you see. And once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma.
Yes, she's so small but sounds yeah, the Lalafels do not always sound like how you would expect them to, and I think that's good, that not all of them sound like high-pitched little kids. As for how...
400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
I don't know why I hit the next dialogue option button without finishing my sentence. As for how Lalafels can still sound like they can have a deeper voice, I do not know. But it's nice. And yes, Floof. Boog blinks now. I see you've muted. Okay, I understand that you don't want to be spoiled. Then catch up! But yes, Boog blinks now. I can't spell. Blink. Yes, late ass oats.
Aren't those people gleaners?
You tell me, Alize.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Sounds like a plan, Alize. That's not good. Is it your echo
Did you call
or
to me just now?
no?
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent.
There must be something housed down here.
I'll
Did
be
I really
fine, I'm
type
sure.
yest? But
Let's get
yest
to work, shall
boob
we?
blinks now? Oh dear. Is there... Aha, yes, there is. Oh, this... I mean, I knew this was going to be an overworld map, but this is a lot larger than I expected it to be. There's 3 whole aetheryte points in this place. I can't remember if there's any other overworld maps I've been on that has 3 whole aetheryte. Are there? Thinking here. Not really. Ilmeg. I guess just Ilmeg. Oh, I guess Colosia. Colosia is bigger than I thought too. Okay, never mind. I lied. My memory is just bad. But that's Norvrent. Oh, I suppose the Azim... Well, the Azim Steppe technically only has 3 if you actually unlock the Beast Tribe there. Why does this even matter? I should continue. There's more of those cute little mammoths. Oh, and let's see here. Excuse me, are you a gleaner? If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. I suppose it's all just going to be them asking. Okay, we shall just do the... Maybe they have a Magitech facility underground, says Cosmic. I mean, that might be the case here, though. Does anyone other than the Garleans use Magitech? Well, I mean, we do have the Ironworks now, but who are also like making more Magitech stuff, but and not being associated with Garlemald, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's entirely. I don't even think, now that I think about it, Magitech isn't really widespread outside of Garlemald. However, this is Charlian, and they're supposed to be collectors of knowledge and stuff, so... You're here to help or give me more headaches, because if you don't have the look, because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. You exchange with Aaronville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. That doesn't sound like a good sign. People working themselves to exhaustion? You're a mender? Oh, I don't need to mend my stuff though. What do you sell? These are all weapons. I actually don't ever really buy my weapons. Tradecraft gear, battle accessories, tools, items. Okay, so dark matter, Geishel greens, and then these are shrimp ball. Shrimp ball is ours, something I already had. Okay, level 80 and above fishing bait. That's important to me. Sounds like capitalist America. I mean... yeah. Let me think. The Ray Seas should be item 1058, Cumin Seas 1059, Snurbbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? Ah, my head feels like it's stuffed with Moko grass. Why more lows to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risking mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corthan carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tive has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Okay, the out part is actually important in my opinion. I thought only things were going in. If it's going out also, then that's more than what I thought was going on. I thought maybe they're just collecting stuff for this terrarium as like their like vault tech, you know, for Fallout. Post-apocalyptic contingency plan. Make an underground living facility. That goes well always, right? You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and fauna, and if it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. I should probably mute my mic for that. Hold on. I once, over a Discord call, got really thirsty and started drinking water, but apparently I drink water very loudly. So, got quite a few reactions of people going like, who the heck is gulping down water? Okay, let's report to Kryl. Any luck, Urintai? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Yes, Thorsty Boog. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Yup. Glorified rat catcher. Kryl appears lost in thought. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Urintai, I have an idea. I love that sometimes, depending on the situation, if the game calls for it, and your character is tall, and the character you're speaking to is very short, you will kneel down or just get down to their level. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. Yep, sounds like a plan to me. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! Marmots, as far as I know, are like... They're robots, but they're not necessarily robots. They're crafted creatures of limited sentience. So I would say that they're kind of like robots. Not really androids per se. The classification of exactly when something is sentient or living in this game is a little muddled, though I don't quite know if we ever really had too much of a... I mean, I suppose there's been some cases of non-natural organisms becoming something with a soul, but like, the closest that the marmots have to a soul, I think, is like a specific complicated technology piece of gadget inside them, and I don't know if all of them necessarily have more than a like more processing or capability than a, let's say, sophisticated AI, like perhaps like Siri. Yeah, so something more like that. I'd say that they're a little bit more like a advanced Siri slash Alexa slash Cortana, whatever you want to call them. Not people, made by people, so to speak, and can assist you with things. They're Siri. You wish to help me find the marmots? I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. The name's Aaronville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nagxiang Marmots is a trial I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other... Oh, I guess I confused marmot with mammoths. I'm so dumb. Marmots, I guess, are the actual, like, rat-type things. Whoops! But the little thing that's been walking around that I was talking about, those are mammoths? Oh boy. You can tell that I haven't played this in a while because I'm getting fantasy terms all mixed up. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Okay, so is it gonna just make me chase things around, or do I... Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot. Or you. Oh, fantastic! I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Alright, eastern part of the forest. I just realized I probably could just summon my mount here. Yes. Yes, I can. Boy, getting on a loud motorcycle is one way to go and chase down rats. What is this? That's definitely made of some sort of aetherite. Oh my god. That's a troll? That looks like the wild thing or whatever that is from that book that I haven't really cared for and never really read since. What is going on with its bottom half? Is that meant to be a tail, or is that just that these trolls actually like tie back their back hair? Okay, moving on. Let's see here. Oh, there's a point of interest. It's gonna make me fight stuff. I know it will. I need to turn on tank stance. Not that it does anything for me while I am not in a party, but always having it on is a good idea. Hunting coyote. Alright. Another one. Fine. Oh, I don't have enough resources for that. Not that I really needed to use that, but... Alright. What, you're... Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbush. Oh, it's gonna make me chase it all the way down to the aetherite, isn't it? Zoom zoom indeed. It doesn't feel as good as the zoom zoom on the sparrows for Destiny though. Cause you're allowed to only go so fast in an MMO even with increased mount speed. What is that skill that I have ready? Intervention. What exactly was intervention again? Okay. Intervention reduces target party members' damage taken by 10%. Okay, yeah, that's why it's on that section of the bar. Okay. So wait, intervention is it reduces 10% and then cover is I take their damage. Okay. Squeak! Squeak goes the mouse. Into the sack goes the mouse. The rat. Rat, not mouse. Or not, or it doesn't happen. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. It made me use the key item, and then made me fail. Oh my goodness. That's a new one for me. be bothered by that big guy. Can I? Can I? Yes, yes I can, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot I had this. The special buy, like, what was it, $5 or $10 worth of Snickers bars? No, it wasn't Snickers. Butterfingers. You get this chocolate cocoa pour. I can't show its, like, flight animation thing, which, I mean, it just floats, but, hearts show up all around it. I love the water droplet that's on top of it, though. I mean, though it doesn't necessarily all look like water. But it's pretty cool. It's derpy is what it is, and sometimes derpy is okay. Oh, I can't just go up there, so I have to go this way. No, is it not? Aha! There it is. Grizzled mouse. Chirp. Use rat sack. Get in the bag. Finally. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Thank you. Man, do I want to make my way over there? It's gonna make me make my way over there eventually, I'm sure. Zoom. As fast as I'm allowed to zoom. Technically, I think I'm supposed to get slightly faster mount speed on the motorcycle, but sometimes it doesn't feel like it matters. How did you fare? I tracked down through the pack, which leaves one unaccounted for. Here you go. You're a rat in a sack. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends into a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. I don't like being that direct. What will you do with the marmots now? That's for the Forum to decide. They're the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed, those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. Yeah, it definitely is starting to sound like they're just trying to create there's a word for that. Like a bomb shelter type situation. I feel like there's a specific term for bunkers. Okay, yeah, bunkers. That works. I think that's the word I was looking for. I felt like there was something more specific, but yeah, bunker works. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Urintai. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Wait, that's not exactly how Cryo's voice sounded, but oh well. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are your folk, anyway? I am Cryo of the students of Valdesion. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent to Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions be put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls, other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. It's okay, sir. Thank you all the same. I have gotten some information, and information is invaluable. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Some. Only a bit. A bit is better than nothing. So, we've confirmed that the order of this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We've also discovered when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telephor made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of the news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telephor's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to the conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the is that Archeon? Archeon? Well, let's go with Archeon. From there, we can reach the lower... Oh, no. The last time we started having people having headaches, people started passing out and not waking up. Cryo, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of headache, that's all. Nothing will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it, then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east, through the forest where you were chasing after the mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Please don't make me follow an NPC again. Okay, good. The Archeon is probably where the, yeah. The Rathalos! So much grinding. 50 whole scale pluses in order to get this mount. He definitely looks better flying. King of the skies and all. Just walking to the next destination, on the ground, on my Rathalos. He's small for a Rathalos, in my opinion. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. Interesting. Were you caught in mist on your way here? The sprayers keep the air humid, so the habitat feels as close as possible to a natural forest. I see. Is that why it's raining in here? Is the rain natural, or is it... Well, I suppose we may find out in another in-game time of... Wait, nope. Should be... What was it? It's 8, 16, and 24. Oh yeah, so in another in-game time of like 3 hours and 15 minutes. Flat Earther civilization? Yeah. You know what? I never did... No, I'm pretty sure actually the planet is round and that they do most... I think most people know the world is round, a sphere, but I don't know. Have I actually ever encountered anyone in this game, any NPC in this game that talks about the Earth or their world being flat? I can't remember. This is the foremost material archive in Charlian. I should love to explore its treasures shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. Alright, Alphino. Behold, the Archaeon. As Numenor serves as Charlian's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. Yeah, the simulated weather does feel a little ominous, doesn't it? In a manner of speaking, the Archaeon contains a physical history of Charlian's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Alright. Do they have anything else to say? Okay, no, same thing. Alright. Ah! Whoops, I accidentally targeted Kryl again. Deeper into the maze, Alphino is gazing into the Archaeon with an appraising look. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let's proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Let's attune to the Aetheryte first before I forget. And that is a chocobo porter. Sometimes when I'm feeling lazy or I want to stand up and go get myself a water, but I need to go from one place to another. Actually, that is not a chocobo porter. I was not reading. Currency exchange. Oh, so you are the bicolored gemstones exchange. Gotcha! So there are fates that are in this area, aren't there? Oh yeah, there's one right there. Alright. Fates are overworld events that happen. Little events that you participate in to get grind for EXP, among other things. Archaeon Custodian. Cutscene. Ah, it's not voiced. Greetings, we're here to peruse the Archaeon's vaults. Peruse? You are clearly not gleaners, then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldesion, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. Ah, damn. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it would be too late. We were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we? Well... Students of Baldesion. Oh, well, lovely. Yes, those type of scenes always are something good. Let's see where we can progress from here. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. This upper layer is called the outer circuit, and the medial circuit lies one tier below us. Okay. If they're going to close off facilities, then they ought to announce it. The students must be furious. The Forum must be wary of exposure, indeed, to so heavily restrict the use of public institutions. Quite so. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to peruse this one further. Oh, pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. 'Tis likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we weren't to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Okay. Oh, it's one of those actually make me look around things. There's someone there to speak to. Bemused student. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. It's something squealing. Tranquility. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. What did they say? They say it was Tranquility, and Tranquility... Tranquility... I actually don't know where Tranquility is. I can't remember. It sounds familiar, though. Oh well. Though I do wonder what is in the crate. Bone-weary worker. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out that gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Very well. There's the outer circuit, hatching canal. Maybe I'm too far. Oh! Oh, it's this guy. Freaking, I can't get up there from there, huh? Oh, when you make one wrong step and you can't, There we go. Oh, frickin'. This one feels just a bit chunky. Oi, no. I should have cast this a long time ago. It was kind of actually a waste of my rotation there, but oh well. Oh yes, shiny horse. That was, I think, was that Ixion? I don't know the name of all of my mounts. Wait, that's the Minions Guide. That one was... I don't have that many mounts. Where is he on this list? Hey! You got 15 stars! Congrats, Elysian! Oh, yeah, that was Ixion. Big, Thunder Kirin. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Frighten what away? Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. You wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. The hornbill? Okay. Its feathers are green, and its cry is a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with the sleeping dart. Oh, I think it's gonna be one of those little quest things. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit this one. Be sure to hit the right one. It's green, and it caws. Okay. I do believe, if I remember correctly, hornbills. I guess it's that one. Okay. There we go. That victory animation is something that, over time, you see less and less of throughout this game.
Fair shot.
Oh, you're voiced!
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
An NPC that has a voice!
There you are. Any new revelations? So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties.
Interesting. Okay, so this place is kind of, sort of also like... Well, it's not necessarily a rehabilitation center, that's for sure, if they're, like, studying them, and I don't know to what capacity they're studying them too, but, like, it's also kind of like a wildlife park?
But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
Secret things, and we all know secret things are, well...
Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
Ooh, that kinda sucks.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation.
I suspected you wouldn't have been.
But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
Interesting. Yeah, buildings like that would be pretty cool. We don't get to see a lot of, like, architecture like that. There's, like, I think a few modern buildings that are actually, I feel like, are interesting, but there hasn't been a lot in recent times, huh?
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans.
I don't know if migration is gonna do any good, though.
Requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
Is there like a chute or something that I'm gonna be going down through?
This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to
Dungeon!
traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
Secret tunnel
I
dungeon!
never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back.
Oh, don't worry, I can kill anything.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Actually, don't know if that's gonna be a dungeon. We don't have... Because all of the dungeons in the new content in Endwalker, I know, should be available to go through solo with a trust system with the NPCs, and we have no tank representation here. I don't think Kryl is a tank. They would have every role available, since not everyone would be playing a tank. So, no dungeon? Maybe just a path? Dangerous path? Okay, Oh, that's a fate that I don't need to be doing right now. Those are level 77, huh? Ah! Seedlings, no! Leave me alone. Samantha Seedling. That's a interesting monster name. Labyrinth Screamers. I never would have noticed this cave on my own. Thank the scholar that Erenville knew of it, and that you were there to persuade him to share. Excuse me, but how do you not notice this big giant freaking hole, bigger than you by so many sizes and me by so many sizes, in a freaking wall? I took a quick peek inside, but it's awfully dark in there. The medial circuit, which Aaronville mentioned, is the tier directly below us. Unlike the lowest level of Labyrinthos with its rigid security, one can usually roam the middle layer quite freely. Let us see what we might find. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside... we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Alright, and he gives me armor piece that is below the item level that I'm wearing. Hydorium helm. Not much of a fan of it. I'll probably sell it later. Alizé seems eager to get underway. The medial circuit. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Yeah, that's just an excuse to say, the NPCs are going ahead, you go on now. The 33rd facet. Well, I see some little beasties. There's certainly an interesting pattern on the ground. I mean, if it was excavated, then yeah, I guess all of this is from being scuffed up. Mithril caps. Okay, so they're toad whatchamacallits. Weird mushrooms. Weird toad fungi. This is gonna be a fight spot. Slightly eerie music box, like music. Get over here. Last one, confettier, and finish off with that. Is that like a whistle in the music? Of course. I don't know why I started my combo again when I still had 2 more of those. Oh well. Let's see what we have here, which is probably just more of those mushrooms. Yep. Tunk! As they hit my shield. Gosh, this is a long tunnel system. Hey! That looks like the end. I suppose I could just take my mount, to be honest. Borb. mine shaft was infested with mithril caps. Some sort of research project, I wonder? I suppose they are the most unusual creature. Why did they develop such long limbs when all they do is shuffle about in narrow tunnels? Honestly, Ashtola, I didn't ever particularly put much thought into them. I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought and I lost my footing for a moment, that's all. I'm not injured, if you don't count my pride. Irentai, did you know Cryle almost took a tumble back there? She can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. Yeah, something's definitely going on. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Erenville's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. That's a big level 90 hunt mark that I cannot go after and should not go after, because it is not my hunt mark. Okay. Wait, keep forgetting I have mounts. It seems like oftentimes if I... Stray garlic, stray egg, stray queen. They're the mandragoras! They're so cute! Oh look, there's this tomato king out there and then the onion jester. I have all the minions to them and I think they're adorable, and also have the little plush versions of them in my room. In my free company room. I know they'll attack me if I get too close though. But they're so cute! That's one thing I love about this game is the mandragora designs. Look at that. Stray mandragora. Stray tomato. Stray onion. They're so cute. Okay, moving on. Those are some big mandragoras though. They're usually very tiny. That's one way to build a farm. Aha! Now I know where we are. This is Mariel Agronomics. I think that I pronounced that right. Labyrinthos is a host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And this is it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of the research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to Agora. Foods so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations, worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about their useful clues. Man, Kryle, that pumpkin is almost the size of you. Nokia. Overwhelmed laborer. You don't even get a name, you just get a little descriptor. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry, and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop the hills over there. Gods, hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Okay. Is that the irrigation system down there? It looks like it. Jebke. Hey! You're an aura like me! Oh, hello there! We weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mom long. Oh, fantasy measurement system. It goes, what was it? Ilms, yoms, and moms, as far as I know. Ilms are inches, probably. Yoms are probably yards, and moms are probably miles. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with the vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Quite so. Who else do I need to speak to? Trying to find who you need to speak to is a little hard sometimes. Is it maybe someone right outside the walls? Oh! Harried Harvester. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Isilbard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. Used to be called Corvus before the Imperials renamed it Locus Armonis. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climate we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. Alright. That was interesting. Suppose this means we will most definitely be, visiting Corvus, I would presume? Stacked boxes. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. Those are some curious looking flowers.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Huh.
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Ooh.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair.
Elysian won more points from catching a star. Did that happen because you fell off the ladder?
Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild.
I've never seen any of it grow in the wild, and I've been around many places.
With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
All right. Fascinating information, though.
Have you learned aught of interest?
I learnt about flowers.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryo?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
Oh. What is going on, Cryo?
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him. Almost. I can almost reach you.
I know that Cryle has the ability of the Echo, and I can't quite remember exactly how hers manifests, but interesting. Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? Let's go after him already. We've waited too long as is. It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he's been. But what other choice do we have? Is Cryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. The full report, warts and all. Alizé is not about to let Erenville out of her sight. Erenville was headed westward along the path outside of the Archeon. Come, we can still catch him. Aye, it's my red drop chocobo. It seems Y'shtola wishes to have a word with us. We've fallen too far behind, and this damn mist won't help matters. I can still hear it. Hold a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is the Logiston Beta, one of the Labyrinthos climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, it would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Hippity-hop, my little toads! Oh no. Oh no. Goodness! Goodness indeed! Why us? Unaccustomed to transfiguration? Worry not, it will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creatures hereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. Yeah, no shit! You have changed into a toad! You must remain transfigured in order to progress with quest objectives. You will return to your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look to your map for the transfiguration's area of effect. Speak with Ishol to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Okay. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad and Allie Toad are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Oh dear. Oh my god, the sound of the toad moving. Toad hopping sounds. Bigger toads that eat small toads. I don't know where I'm meant to go. There's an area to go to. Discuss your surroundings. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he is telling you this is the wrong way. Alley Toad turns to face the north. Perhaps she is suggesting you cross the bridge. Gosh. Why? Why must we be toads? Oh no. Leave me alone. Leave me the frick alone. Okay. I have arrived.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Ay, ay, ay. Sometimes new tasks is not necessarily comforting.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Charlian scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Charlian was charged with a momentous duty.
When a toad becomes captain of the party. That does remind me though, the that like Captain Toad like treasure whatever the puzzle game that was on the Wii U. I quite enjoyed that. It was fun. Toads can't jump, is what I learned. Now that, out of context, sounds very weird to say that toads can't jump.
And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge.
It was very fun. I like puzzle games though, so that was definitely the Toad like treasure puzzle game was definitely something I enjoyed a lot of.
I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
Quite so!
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I'm sure he would notice that we look out of place.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
Smart.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
I'd say that was quite
If
obvious.
you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Yup. Our toad performance needs work, apparently. I'll have to pay more attention the next time I see one. Oh, I suppose at least she isn't super upset about this. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived, yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle, this momentous duty the Forum agent mentioned. Charlian has been called to action, and the Telephor's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzi as a request for aid. Alright, what are we? Nowhere close to a teleport point. A guide of sorts. Alizé is staring off in the direction Erenville departed, a thoughtful look on her face. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Kryl for the moment, see what they think of this. And yes, I did level up. I somehow did not notice that. I am now level 83. On Paladin, that is. Someday I'll have all the classes leveled. But I bet the first thing I'm gonna do once I'm done with Endwalker's main storyline is going to be leveling all of the rest of my crafting and gatherers. Oh, I should do ocean fishing again. Ocean fishing's fun. Not today, though. Where's Kryl? Where is Kryl? Asks Alphino after I asked. It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Kryl, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Hey, this is the, I don't know exactly what this winged horse Pegasus looking thing that has weird armor going on is, but This was the pre-order bonus. Oh, wait, are you up there? And it's not necessarily that you're up there, it's... Wait a second. Ah! Okay, okay. We... nope, that's cliff, so we go this way. Oh, nice! Finishing homework always is a relieving thing. You definitely deserve to relax a bit after all of that. While I am glad to not have to deal with homework anymore, I definitely understand the stress of it. Ah, I am not seeing her around here. And there's another plus quest there that might be for my Aether Currents later, but I will worry about that later. Where is she? Oh, that's right. I think she's supposed to be near, like, those flowers. And those flowers are where again? Around here, I think? Oh. When the game gives you a super large area to search for one small little Lalafell. I don't see her there. Was it the other direction? I need to find a good stopping point soon, and one of the problems I'm having right now is the fact that because on the days I'm not playing this expansion, I do have to go back to the free company in order to water the flowers. But if I do that, getting back here is going to be hard. So I'm trying to get to a point where I am near an aetherite for my next step. Gosh, she's not around here either. Where is she? These are the worst parts of MMO quests. Search for something without a specific marker in a large designated area. And now I'm outside of the boundaries. And I can't quite remember where those crates were. Not here, apparently. You know what? This doesn't quite look like a horse, but it looks like a horse that's been combined with something else. Maybe it's up this way? Up a hill? But I thought I came down from this direction. Oh, there she is! Okay, and I should no longer be chased by aggroed stuff. Picking one of those flowers a good idea?
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting.
I see.
She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
She? Heidelin, perhaps? You do have the echo like I do, after all.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope
Oh.
to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Oh, But I thought Menphilia should be... I don't know what it means to be the Oracle of Light, though. I thought at this point she's dead.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Heidelin. Okay.
Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Menphilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you.
Do you speak of Reen?
Take the flower. Walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will.
What do you mean by that? I was never... despite everything...
will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction.
Despite everything that the Warrior of Light, the main character, does, I was never under the impression that I was beholden to her demands, so to speak. That what I did was under the agreement that I know that it should be the right thing to do. And yeah, I definitely love any and all of the like piano and like orchestral instrumental arrangements in all of Final Fantasy stuff. So I don't believe Endwalker's album has been released on Spotify yet, but I look forward to the day that it does.
In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Oh, Kryl.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out.
I suspected
Even
it
with
would
my
have been
particular
Heidelin.
talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious. We've done nothing wrong.
Oh no.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Suppression? Of what?
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Oi, leave Graha alone!
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
That would be our best and only course of action right now.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Well, I would be happy to go there then. Well, the restricted section wasn't public access, actually. It is supposed to be accessible, however, by the Archons, I believe, which, out of our party, a number of them are Archon status. But I guess there's still problems with taking things out of the restricted section. I don't know. They've certainly been very conservative about their, how they distribute their knowledge. And by how I mean how they don't want to intervene with other matters. Did Cryo redo her? Oh no, she took off her hood.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
Good to know. Graha is a very fast reader, and also, as far as I can concern, I'm pretty sure he has a photographic memory.
This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large.
Sure, if you want to spin it that way.
Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You
The way
have
that-
tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
The way that they're dressed with their half of their face concealed reminds me very much of how the Amaratines seem to conduct themselves.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd.
Odd, you say?
From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Huh.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Hydaelyn or Zodiark then? Probably Hydaelyn because Zodiark is in pieces in the moon. I do believe.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore.
You have been tempered.
Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania.
Mm-hmm. Heroes of Light all over again, indeed.
Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the Studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these Scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections.
A reasonable person.
Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
That is probably the most reasonable way to approach this I've heard from anyone in this stupid place.
Order! We will have order!
Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlian. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates.
That's not necessarily what I would call fair in the circumstances.
Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
unanimous, I don't believe.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences.
That's still split just enough to mean that there are people that we can probably get help from.
Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Alright. Thank the gods for Scholar Monteshane. I absolutely loathe arguing in circles. My father may be right, that I am still groping in the dark for answers, but I needed him to know that I would never stop searching. I owed that much to Ehrenwald and myself. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but do continue to claim the students as your sponsor whenever so the need arises. I believe in the guiding principles of the Scions, and I know my grandfather would have as well. I apologize for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I had just read as I left the restricted section, and knocked over the security mammoth on the way out. I promise to be more vigilant next time. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the ethereal sea. With our freedoms so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Charlian. Which means that our continuation may need to be the other quest line that I did not pick up. Or perhaps she has more for me. However, it is late. And this is a decent stopping point as I'm now in an area where I can teleport to a nearest aetheryte point. Right there. So, this will be all for my journey today. I'm still a little sad that I haven't gotten into any actual interesting action yet. Lots to uncover still, though. I'm wondering if maybe the Forum found Heideland if they were in the ethereal sea, which is where everything returns to, but we shall see as we continue. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Everyone have a good night.